All right, welcome back, everybody who's been following along. I have a new quick project today. I'm going to build an engine cradle. I have a 460 uh, engine swap kit that I never used. Got rid of the 460 and still ended up with that. I got casters down here. I got the engine sitting there. I got another one over there if I need it. I know you can buy these things for like 50, 60 bucks, on up to a couple $100. But I have like one day to use this engine right now to try and build one, and then it's leaving to go to the engine builder. As far as I know, plan is that his brother's going to pick this up and take it to him tomorrow morning. So I'm going to try to throw an engine cradle together real quick here. Well, I don't know how quick it will be because I really don't have much of a plan. I have an idea what I want, but anyways, so going to get this get some measurements done up real quick here. Pull that engine kit out. Try to see what I got for other scrap metals and other pieces. Look at a few designs and try to come up with a better plan than I have at the moment. But anyways, gonna get going on that, and should be fun. If you want to follow along, that's what I'm doing. So, anyways, I'll be back in a second. All right, so I got some updates here on this finally to show you. And yeah, by the way, my dog decided to come join us. Her name is Scarlett. She is an absolute sweetheart. She loves to play fetch with the frisbee, can jump really high to catch it, all this fun stuff. But unfortunately, she is really scared of fireworks. And being that New Year's is approaching, you know, people in the neighborhood are having fun lighting off some stuff early and everything like that. So she was out in the yard hanging out, having a good time, and then they started lighting off stuff. So I threw down the shop blanket for her, and she's come in here, and even with the grinding and the noise and everything like that, and here she's fallen asleep numerous times. So she's hanging out, joining me today and stuff. Unfortunately, fireworks are her nemesis, but so I flipped the 460 brackets around. Usually this would mount onto the engine block, and then this would mount to the frame. But this plate is too small to line up with any bolts on the 360. So these mounts right here were, obviously like that on the engine, and they don't they overhang it. So turning it sideways, turning it whatever, didn't really work with this plate too well. So I just reversed it. This frame mount bracket had a much bigger plate, so I was able to drill new holes and line it up, and it's pretty straight on this side, looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. So if you look straight down at it, that's pretty lined up with the engine. But on the other side, unfortunately, you see they're kicked back at an angle. So not that big of a deal. This perch had, sloped back piece going like that. So I'll probably just cut this off, modify it, and then straighten it up and re-weld it back on. I could build the cradle to match that angle, but if I want to use this for other engines possibly and reutilize this bracket, I think having it straight is going to be the best bet for anything. And I may not be able to reutilize it for other motors. I'm mainly doing Ford 360, 390 trucks right now, so I do have some, a couple Mopar cars that I work on as well. But you know, if this doesn't work for another engine, then maybe I just add another tab or something like that to the cradle to, whatever engine I need to have it, have it mounted in there for the time being. But anyways, I'm gonna keep working. Hopefully, I'll be able to show some video work at the, coming up here soon. It was just a bunch of fiddling with the brackets to turn them, trying to figure out which one was gonna bolt up best, and then trying to get it all lined up. And I just didn't feel like it was video worthy sitting there trying to flip those brackets around and around and around and around, and trying to find the smoothest spot. I mean, This one over here, that one I just had to drill holes in and it lined up. This one over here, I had to trim the bottom of it right down here and get it ground down a little bit, and then drill these 2 new holes so it would fit. Technically I could cut this tab off this plate here. It's not needed. But I'm leaving it for now in case it ever helps me with a different motor, a different engine, bracket and stuff. I don't think it's going to be in the way. But yeah, so give me a minute here to reset. I'm going to probably pull this engine out more into the middle of the floor where I can start mocking up some beams around it and hopefully build some supports. What was that old adage? Measure twice, cut once, or measure once, cut twice? Here we go, cut twice. Amazing how that works. I had measured to go for this gap here, and I had it on that side. So I went 21 on that first cut, not realizing I should have been pulled a stupid one and didn't measure it right. Oh well, such is life. So let's try and do that right this time. All right, so that's going to be the base frame for this thing. A nice heavy duty stock. Clean up my areas around where they're going to connect up, but weld those in, spot weld them for now, and get that squared up. It looks really nice, really close. I am not worried about this being perfect, but I definitely want it to be square and true to the floor so that when I put the rollers on it, it sits and doesn't teeter and all that kind of stuff. So when I'm welding this in, burning it in, I'm going to have to take my time, not be too crazy too fast, warp those beams or warp the way it's sitting. But yeah, I like that. Probably going to build a little bit bigger of a pedestal for those to come down and sit on so that this can sit, the engine can sit clear above, the oil pan can be above this. So probably grab another piece of block or something, put it right about here, right in the center for both of those pads to sit on. I got some heavy angle iron there that I might even add to that as perches. And then that can, create a nice big landing pad for those two spots to hit. But yeah, definitely on the right path. I'm liking this. All right, I got all my edges beveled. I got everything cleaned up, ready to weld. Got it all squared back up to each other again. So gonna get a few tacks in here, try to hold this in place. So if I bump it or move it again, we're okay. All right, so let the shop air out a little bit. Kind of got a little smoky in here. All right, so that's holding together right now perfectly fine. That's all I need it to do. All right, so unfortunately, my battery was dying on my phone, and I didn't realize it because I was too busy working and wasn't paying attention to the recording. So, anyways, the I got the you guys saw or the video caught that I was doing the square and tacking that together. I also cleaned up the casters a bit. I wasn't sure if those were nickel plated or galvanized or what they were. So I got the doors wide open. I got the squirrel fan going. I'm sorry it's loud. But I just wanted to make sure that any fumes, anything that was possibly, toxic, if that was galvanized, got evacuated out of here as quickly as possible. So I've gotten a bunch of the welds done on the frame. So I'm just trying to get them finished in now. And like I said, I didn't even realize the camera wasn't rolling anymore, so I apologize. Got distracted, got busy, and just didn't even notice it. So I got it plugged in now, so hopefully it won't do that again. All right, turn the exhaust fan off so hopefully you can hear again. But there she be, welded up. Roll's still pretty good. It's not teetery, which is the main thing. So still actually level. So I'm happy with that. I've already test fit it underneath the engine, and stacking up those blocks of wood, 3 of them, gives it at the right height. So I already have basically my measurement there with those blocks. So the next thing I need to do is build a pedestal up to catch those flat plates that were on the engine stands, the 460 brackets. And so that's what I'm going to do next, is start building those upriser to catch those. And the engine was sitting fairly level right across that without too much issue. So that was nice. So anyways, let me get this camera moved to a better angle again, and we'll go from there. All right, so I took a second to clean up real quick. A lot of stuff was in my way. It was getting to be a little bit jumbled up, but so I measured those boards over there. Those are 5 inches high. So I'm just going to do a quick 5-inch riser out of square tube. There she be. True that surface up a little bit better than that, and find center of the those beams. And then I'll tack that in. Then I need to create a angle iron plate to come over and catch those engine mount plates, so I can bolt it to them. That looks about where it will be, but there you go. 2 little quick risers. Need to measure the angle iron. I'm going to reset this back up there again just to see where those plates fall. I'd like to bolt those plates to this versus welding them to it, but if I have to weld them, then I'll just weld them. But for now, I want to pull that engine or jack that engine back up and move it forward and see where she lands. Yeah, so right now, both are lining up, like I said, about dead center of this beam here. And the engine looks pretty squared up in the cradle. So that's about right. Still think I need to make an angle iron plate for that to sit on, just so it catches more surface area. Probably do some 45s to brace that pipe coming up, just so any twisting force or whatever is not all just on those bottom welds. But that's that works for me. That's getting to where I want it to be. If I remember correctly, I made these beams 30 inches long, so dead center should be 15. Yep, 30 inches. Dead center is 15. Said need to clean these up a little bit. And they should be ready to tack in place. All right. And if anybody's wondering why I'm not using the laser to do the cleanup part of the metal, I am waiting for a new moisture filter to show up. It's supposed to be here in the morning, of course. I don't have time to wait for it, so old-fashioned way works still. We are super high in humidity right now, and I was worried about how much moisture was starting to collect in the air compressor line, so just shut it down. Didn't even want to risk it. If you get too much moisture in the head unit of the laser, it will it'll start to mess with the laser and all that kind of stuff. So with it being as high humidity and the dew point as high as it is right now, after doing a bunch of research on the laser, I just shut it down. Didn't want to risk all that moisture that's in the air right now, and unfortunately not able to keep it out of my air compressor. So like I said, new moisture removers on the way, but just not here at the moment. All right, those are in place. Need to set up a. Oh, I want to get some angle supports going on those. Also, that flat angle iron, but thinking I want to do the angle iron first before I do those angle supports, so that I can, if I need to move these again or whatever, they're not solidly welded in. So I'm going to go for the angle iron first. So that bracket on that side is square at 5 by 5. Five and a half by 5. I believe this angle iron to be 5. Yep, 5 by 3 if I'm correct. Yeah, 5 by 3. So I'm thinking a good 6 inches gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Not much, but a little bit. that was definitely not one of my better cuts, but I probably waited a little too long on that when that disc got small. Kind of hacked it up a little bit, but I'm not too worried about what this looks like, being that it's just going to be something rolling around my shop holding an engine on it. So I'm not trying to win a beauty contest with this thing, that's for sure. But something like that is what I was thinking. So just kind of caps it, gives a nice flat surface area for it to, that plate to come down and rest on. Make another one for the other side. Weld it in and go from there. So for those of you wondering why am I cutting things by hand and everything like that, well, I've always pretty much cut everything by hand. A chop saw, yes, should be in my future, but I've almost always been able to make cuts like that by hand. You can barely see any deviance in that cut whatsoever. So compared to the one I did before with the little blade that kept getting smaller and smaller, and you see that huge gap, that's why I was laughing. I was like, that was definitely one of my worst cuts. It was horrible. So yeah, as I'm getting older, my hands aren't as steady as they used to be. Chop saw probably is in my future, but to my defense at the moment, I broke that middle finger and it is not healing as good as it should. It is still really weak. I don't know if you noticed, but every time I tried to pick up that beam, I can pick it up just fine with my right hand. I pick it up with my left hand and I would basically drop it because I just have no strength, no control in this hand still. So I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older and the healing's just slower, or if I really messed up that finger so bad that it's just kind of the way it is now. Sure hope not, because it's really annoying to just not have that strength that I'm used to having. I am right-handed, so my right hand, right arm tends to be a little bit stronger, but I've never really noticed like, oh, I can't pick that up with my left hand, or I can't turn that wrench with my left hand. It's usually just all about positioning. So yeah, if you broke a finger out there and you're older, how long did it take before you felt normal again? My goodness. I mean, I did do a number on my finger. I smashed it with a sledgehammer, and I fractured the bone long ways all the way up in multiple places. So probably to be where I'm at, it's probably pretty good. I just don't know. Trying to get the engine to stop twisting and the casters to all line up where I need them. Same time. Pretty close right there. And we missed. Yeah, I forgot about that with the engine brackets still loose. They can spin. This side came down and sat nice and flat, but that side spun up and flipped up. So that's going to have to be welded into place before I can test fit that again. That bracket just needs to come down and rest on there, but it's going to, all that weight's just going to keep flipping it until I can get that cleaned up and tacked in. So not a problem though. It's definitely there. They're definitely landing on the pedestal parts that I want them to land on. All right, well, she is completed. At least the metal work is done. There may be a few little modifications here or there. obviously it's not very adjustable with those motor mounts being welded to the bottom cradle, but this is removable here and there, so technically you could, you know, make something new for each engine depending on what you needed to do. But you know, that's not really ideal for what these things are supposed to be. You know, the ones you can buy are super adjustable and all that kind of stuff. So I'm mainly going to be dealing with 360, 390s. So, you know, it's probably going to work out for the most part for what I need it for. I don't plan on having an engine sitting in here very often, but when I do, I'd like to be able to move it around and not have it just sitting on the floor like that one over there. So, you know, it'll do the job that I need it for. Stuff. Would I do that again? Probably not. I'd probably just buy one. But I had this engine right now. I wanted to use it for the mock-up, and I have another 390. Like I said, engine builders building a 390 for me. So he wants this engine, but when I get the 390, I'm gonna have it sitting in this engine cradle for a while I get the truck ready and stuff. And so that should keep it nice and secure. That should keep it, you know, isolated and just keep it ready until I need it. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, wasn't really doing anything to show you how to do it or, you know, to make your own. I just figured I'd make one and video it, and if you liked it, then great. If you didn't, then you know, it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it either way. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later.